Corey, for you guys to have Keyshawn back out there, obviously it wasn't a full go, but nice to get him on the field at least.
Yeah, just like we talked about yesterday, just kind of sticking to the plan that we have for him and, get him out moving just a little bit more than he had been. And then, we'll continue tomorrow and then, walk through day, might make it maybe look a little bit different for him. And ultimately we'll make the decision, right? So, but like I said, everything's trending in the right direction for all those guys, like I spoke about.
When you clinched first place, you had the luxury to sit guys and rest guys. So to see your lineup out there as it is, how nice is that to have those last two games, that bye week, to have that luxury to sit some of those guys?
Yeah, I think, the guys who definitely needed it, that was awesome. And then on the flip side of that, there's guys on this roster who this week, most likely who got to play some, meaningful football on offense or defense, and to me that just provides strengthens the depth of your roster, right? So, anytime you could do that, it's a huge plus. So I thought everything kind of went to plan from that standpoint. Now it's just making sure that everybody that is on the mend to come back, that they are where we think they are, that can help us play winning football.
How are you and this team different this year at this point than you were last year?
Just, off of, the guys that were here last year, I think just experience alone. Understanding what to anticipate, dealing with, the likes of you guys and media, all that stuff. What the feel in the air is a little bit different. And I heard Trev talk about that. The moment of the game, the big games, those guys understand that now. So, and we did it somewhere else. So to have it at home, I think the guys are ready for that.
You're more mature this year, you think, as a group? Or more knowledgeable?
I think so. Like anything with experience, I think you mature through those processes. So I would say yes, 100%. The way I think we attacked it last year is everybody was geeked up and storm the castle kind of vibe. We're just operating business as usual for us, which I think is a good thing.
On the other front of that is you have a lot of guys who have kind of been there and done that. How big has that experience, whether it was in Saskatchewan or somewhere else, of the guys who are in this room who have Grey Cup rings, bringing that experience to the guys who haven't been there yet?
Yeah, super important. I thought, when we sat down, J.O., myself, Kyle, and everybody, when we looked at bringing certain people in, that's part of it too. We want to build a winning culture here. And then certainly, guys having experience, be it in other places, they just know what it looks like, what to expect during times like this, and maybe also could add something to already what we're doing. So it's a big plus, again, to have those kind of guys in the locker room.
There's only 3 guys remaining on this team from 2019, so Micah, Brett, and Mitch Picton. Have they been guys who have been vocal in the room about what to expect a playoff game here in Mosaic, especially the West Final?
Maybe within the locker room. I haven't put it on. Wasn't Hughes here? Hughes had to been here. Yeah. I think Furlan was a rook, wasn't he? Yep. Somewhere. Albert. God, come on, man. But those guys. I a couple weeks ago, maybe I pointed out to some guys who've gone all the way, and said, hey, just. If you need somebody to talk to, what that looks like, those are guys who've done it, been around the block a few times. So, what they talk about in the locker room, that's not my space. So, but I'm sure guys can lean on each other for experience.
Coach, observing the last 2 days of practice, you've got a lot of good decisions, if you will, when it comes to constructing your roster this week. But how tough is that on you to construct that roster with the decision?
Truthfully, it's always tough to let somebody know that maybe they might not be going to a game, like this. So when we're in a situation where, there's so many good options, it's going to be tough regardless. But on the plus side of that, you know that you got a lot of players to choose from that you can help the team. So always tough, but happy it's this kind of tough.
And when you're looking at the guys that have come back and are potentially available this weekend. What is the determining factor if they make the team better?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, that's always what it's going to come down to. You know, we're going to try to put together the best roster we feel gives us a chance to win a football game. So, yeah, how they're conducting themselves out here, how they've retained obviously the playbook and the game plan as things changed. All those things will go into the equation. So.
Corey, Mike has now been named the CFL All-Star Defensive Tackle 5 times. What kind of feat is that?
Look, I don't know. I don't know who holds those kind of records. I know you do at some point, Robert. But just speaking to the longevity of his career, and even here on the back nine of it, he's still playing at a high caliber football. So proud of the guy, happy for him. And yeah, you don't just go out there in the trenches and people just vote for you because you're nice. He's a pretty mean guy at times out there, and he makes plays. So happy for him.
What's your best theory on how he's been able to do this, as you said, at this stage of his career, 2 years in a row now?
I don't know. That's probably a better question for him. Everybody, I think, just kind of waits for him to slow it down a little bit. But he's affected plays this entire year. He causes, even though he might not, show up on the stat sheet to have a sack or something like that, he's disruptive, and I think he's garnered a lot of respect from opposing offensive lines throughout his entire career, and he's still doing it. So I don't know. I know he lifts weights, maybe chasing the kids around. I don't know. I have no idea, but proud of him.
What does it mean to you on a personal level, being that you played with him? Obviously, Micah Mace is a testament to your admiration for him.
Yeah, not going to really change my answer. I'm just proud of the guy. Everybody sees this. I remember the Micah Johnson, who was a rook, coming off 2 knee surgeries and switching positions, and a lot was asked of that guy. So the fact that he's carved out this kind of career for himself, just proud of him.